Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be discussing a very unusual divergence that is presently taking place in India's stock market. Now, what is this divergence all about? So typically what happens is the IPO activity, which is the initial public offering activity, which is a part of the primary market. Now, this activity increases when there is increase in the indices of the secondary market. That means they both are linked together. If the secondary market is doing well, then the primary market will also do well. And if the secondary market is not doing well, then the primary market may also not do well. But here we are seeing an unusual situation wherein the secondary market is not doing that well, but still the primary market, that is of the IPO, is still doing considerably well. So we will understand as to what is the reason for this and what does this mean for India's financial markets. Now, before we move ahead, importance or let me tell you about the definition of a primary market and a secondary market. So a primary market is a market wherein the company will be issuing the shares to the investors, to us, to the investors. So from here, the company is giving the shares to the investors. These shares are coming to the investors for the very first time, and the transaction is between the company directly to the investors. This happens in a primary market. Then what is the secondary market? See, once these investors receive the IPO, that is the initial public offering, once they receive the shares, then there will be multiple investors. There will be thousands and lakhs and millions of investors. Now these investors can trade among themselves as well. So one investor can sell it to the other investor, meaning the other investor can buy it from the initial investor. So here the transaction between the or among the investors will take place. So this is going to be known as now the secondary market. Remember, here the company as such is not involved. So that is the difference between primary and secondary market. If secondary does well, primary does well. If secondary does not do well, the primary also does not do well. But right now we are seeing a situation wherein this secondary market is not doing that well, but still the primary market is working exceptionally well. So let us dig deep into this news. Before that, an important announcement with respect to the new batches that are going to start at Legacy IAS Academy, both the regular as well as the weekend batch, wherein you will be trained, coached, mentored, and taught by the experts of UPSC Civil Services examination. Now, there are certain advantages. Some of them are listed here. Once you enroll with Legacy IAS Academy, they are the comprehensive coverage of GS papers, one-on-one mentorship and doubt solving, along with the regular interactions with these educators. You will also have your daily mains answer writing practice, test series for both prelims and mains, as well as the 360-degree approach for current affairs, wherein the entire week's current affairs are covered through the live classes. So if you want to enroll with us, you can simply download this app or log on to our website or call these numbers. Now let's continue in order to understand what is the quantum of divergence that we are talking about. So if you look at the Sensex, it peaked close to 86,000 point and now it is in the range of 81,000. So there is actually a downfall. Now this has happened due to the issues with the global trade, the visa curves, the geopolitical risks, the increase in the tariffs. All these things are going on, as a result of which the sentiments are becoming to some extent negative, and hence this decrease. Whereas if you look at the primary market is booming. In fact, there are 200 companies that are preparing for the IPOs. There are certain big IPOs as well, the initial public offerings as well. For example, the Tata Capital, the LG Electronics, worth 15,000 and 11,000 crores respectively. Now, so we can clearly see a downfall in the secondary market, but still the primary market is booming. I hope that's clear. And you can also see when it comes to secondary markets, It's the investors, it's the two investors that are dealing with each other. Whereas in primary market, what is happening? The company is selling the shares, giving the shares to the investors. Now, what is the reason for this boom of the initial public offering? The very first thing is the SIP inflows are at record high. SIP is what? Systematic investment plan. So people are investing a lot. It is at a record high, 28,000 crore in just 2 months. That is one thing. Second, you have a spreading or increasing participation from the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities as well, especially of the retail investors.